Hello, guys. I hope you're keeping warm. This wind is something else. I guess winter says I'm back, Mitches. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. I'm Brenda Douglas, and I am here with another homebound challenge for you, right? For those of you who are not aware, a homebound challenge is some activities that we do as an act of faith to prove or to stay motivated to become homeowners, right? Despite what the market looks like, despite what the interest rates are. Why? Because God is able, right? So we are going to stand in faith, but see, faith requires action, right? So your homebound challenge for this episode is for you to keep track of your due dates, okay? I want you to write down when your due dates are. So you can do that by getting a hard copy calendar, or you can use your cell phone. For me, I have to see the hard copy calendar, and I want you to not only write when is the bill due. So when is your cell phone due? What is the due date of your cell phone? What is the due date of your telephone? Not your telephone, your cell phone. What is the due date of your internet? If you pay the internet, your electricity, if you pay the electricity, when is it due? And then you're going to get into the habit of writing how much it is when you get the bill, right? You have to do this, right? Sometimes, like I said, I remember in one of my other videos, I said I didn't even want to look at my bills. I didn't want to look because I knew I didn't have enough, right? I knew my check would be short, right? And it wouldn't cover it all. But listen, do something. Something is better than nothing, right? And you want to get into the habit of keeping track of your due dates because it can help your credit. How can it help your credit, Brenda? Late payments count for 35% of your credit score. Dang, look at this traffic. And so you have to keep on top of your payments, right? So you need to know when the due dates are, right? And then also, guys, the other thing is, one thing about building your credit is you have to learn how to play the game, right? You have to understand the game. You have to be willing to play the game, willing to beat the game is what it is, actually, because it's going to happen no matter what, in order to raise your credit score, right? One of the ways you can raise your credit score is by knowing the due date and the statement date, right? And I don't remember which one it is, to be honest with you, because I try to pay mine off before either one of the dates, right? Either right now. I didn't at one time, but I do now. So I find out what the statement date is, and I find out when the due date is. I think the due date is, my due date is on the 8th for one of my bills, and the statement date is the 14th, right? So I try to pay it off before the 8th, right? I try to beat the system, right? Because if you pay it off before, I want to say the statement date, if you pay it off before the statement date, that's when they report to the credit bureaus, right? So if you pay it off, so you use your credit, I have a secure credit card. So you use your, one of them is, use your secure credit card and then pay it off by the statement date. So you can have fun all up until then. But when it gets time for that due date, you need to go ahead and pay it, right? So you need to find out when are your due dates, right? And how much time is there a grace period, right? Is there a grace period? Don't get into the habit of paying the minimum amount, right? I know a lot of people do that, but you want to lower that baby. You want to get that baby, especially if you have a secure credit card, you want to get it to less than 30% of the remaining balance, of the balance period, right? Keep it there. And then, like I said, pay it off by that statement date, because they'll report to the credit reviewers that you're doing good, even though you've been having some fun, right? Anyway, guys, so again, your challenge is to either put the dates on your cell phone, because cell phones have calendar and you can sync up the Google's calendar to your cell phone or what have you. or you can get an organizer, right? An organizer. I have a planner, that's what it's called. I have a planner that has the dates, right? For me to look at and fold out and see the month at a glance, right? And then I jot down each due date. When is the internet due? When is the cell phone due? You know, when is the electric due? I write out all of them bills exactly on their due date, right? Then I write out all of my pay periods, right? Every time I get paid every 2 weeks, I write down the pay date, right? I write down the pay date so that I can look at it at a glance and see, okay, so with this paycheck, I can pay off these bills here because they fall within that 2-week bracket, right? Or that bracket, right? So anyway, your homebound challenge is to get a calendar, and you want to write out your due dates, right? And you also want to find out about your statement dates. The biggest thing is you're going to write those things down so you can see it right in front of you, as well as your pay period. Get a calendar. Like I said, you can put a calendar on the refrigerator if you want, you know, and then all of you guys can keep track. If you are a husband and wife, that's something that in my personal opinion, I'm not married, but at the same time, maybe you should do that as a team, right? So you can kind of remind each other, help each other, hold each other accountable. To each his own. And I know some of y'all are thinking, well, that's my household, I do what I want. And you were absolutely right. Anyway, guys, the homebound challenge is for you to get a calendar and keep track of your due dates, right? And then pay your bills on time so that you can avoid taking a credit hit. All right, guys, I hope that this has been helpful to you. Have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next challenge.